Good evening. I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News update. State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy held a news conference today to talk about 3 police-involved incidents. Braveboy announced the indictment of Prince George's police officer Luis Aponte for allegedly running a theft scheme in the summer of 2019. In the second case, Officer Brian Strong was indicted on second-degree assault charges for the October 2019 incident involving DeMonte Ward Blake, who was paralyzed during that encounter. The third case involved the shooting death of Leonard Shand of Hyattsville. 10 officers opened fire on Shand after a day-long standoff near Prince George's Mall. A grand jury has decided not to indict the officers.
You know, our office is charged with holding everyone accountable for their actions, including police officers. My public integrity unit that I created when I came into office investigates every case thoroughly and presents cases to the grand jury, and we accept the grand jury's decision on those cases. And so our job now is to move forward with those cases where the grand jury indicted, and in the case of Mr. Shand, in the Hyattsville case where the grand jury declined to indict, our job also is to educate the public and our law enforcement partners on how they can do their jobs better.
CTV spoke with a use of force expert who put together a report on that shooting. We'll have more on that tomorrow. Well, virtual courses may be the way for most students to get an education during a pandemic, but one local lawmaker says not everyone has equal access to devices or connectivity. Senator Jim Rosapep says it's time for Maryland to fund high tech for the 20% of students who lack accessibility. He also says that canceling classes for snow days is likely a thing of the past because of online learning.
I think Prince George's is in pretty good shape in terms of kids having the devices they need, kids having the internet connectivity they need. That's not true every place in the state. Literally, we have places in the state where they're not going to have devices for weeks, where they don't have either broadband access or they're not getting hotspots. So my concern is that the state has dragged its feet for years in going to one-to-one and making sure that all kids have the access they need, not just when there's a pandemic, but in normal times. They need to be able to do their homework at home. They need to be able to access educational materials on the weekends.
Rosapep says schools will likely start operating like College Park Academy, which has had 100% of its curriculum online since its founding 7 years ago. Well, the governor announces a 10-state partnership to combat the COVID-19 crisis. The states are partnering with the Rockefeller Foundation and Becton Dickinson to provide rapid point-of-care antigen testing. The agreement will allow each state to purchase 500,000 tests. The goal is to provide test results within 15 to 20 minutes. The governor says Maryland has acquired 250,000 antigen tests so far. The testing kits will be used initially only at nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and correctional centers. Well, the tally for new COVID-19 cases today in Maryland is 503. That's according to the latest figures released by the state health department. The agency is also reporting 7 new deaths. Meantime, the county health department is gearing up for its next pop-up testing event. That will take place tomorrow morning at the Langley Park Community Center from 9 to 11. You don't need a doctor's note, and appointments are not required. Well, the Hogan administration has announced that the state's 24 jurisdictions can begin applying for eviction prevention grants. The $16 million program covers all counties and Baltimore City. Recipients of rental assistance may not exceed 80% of area median income. Recipients must also demonstrate job loss or reduction in hours due to COVID-19. For more information on how to apply, go to DHCD rental info at maryland.gov. The University System of Maryland prepares for a $500 million budget shortfall in 2021, which could include layoffs. The deficit does not take into account $230 million lost this year when the system refunded portions of room and board fees to students as the pandemic spread. Board of Regents Chancellor Jay Pearl announced he'll take a temporary 10% pay cut. Cost-cutting measures include a near freeze on hiring, deferral of construction and maintenance, as well as temporary salary reductions at executive levels. Well, the on and off again rain we've had today could become heavy at times later tonight. The National Weather Service has issued a flash flood watch for the region. Showers and thunderstorms are expected. The flash flood watch is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Well, State Superintendent of Schools Karen Salmon announces 7 finalists for the 2021 and 2020 Maryland Teacher of the Year Award. They include Chelsea Jones from Cecil County and James Ball from Charles County. A panel of judges, including principals and parents, selected this year's finalists. The top teacher will be announced in October. Police have identified the victim in Tuesday's fatal shooting in Suitland. He is 21-year-old Devon Taylor of Bowie. Police were called to the 4500 block of Rena Road for a welfare check on Tuesday morning. Officers found Taylor suffering from a gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Detectives are working to determine a suspect and motive in this case. And a man is in jail after a fatal stabbing on Labor Day. 33-year-old Gerald Day is accused of attacking and killing 24-year-old Franklin Vasquez in Colmar Manor on Monday. Police say the men knew each other. Day has been charged with first and second-degree murder. Attorneys General from Maryland, Virginia, and the District of Columbia, along with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, are suing the Environmental Protection Agency. They allege the feds are not holding the states of New York and Pennsylvania responsible for doing their part in meeting the 2025 pollution reduction goals mandated by the Clean Water Act. The Clean Water Act requires the EPA to ensure states implement plans to meet those goals. Maryland Attorney General Brian Frost says they are suing because the EPA has not been doing its job. Well, today is World Suicide Prevention Day. The aim is to bring more awareness to the issue of mental illness. Maryland's chapter of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is hosting a presentation called "If Suicide is a Major Health Problem, Why Aren't We Treating It Like One?" A Johns Hopkins University professor will discuss her research tonight on this issue, including behaviors to look for in friends and family.
Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death. And of the top 10 leading causes of death, all but 2 have been either stable or decreasing. Suicide and influenza have been increasing. And so we really need to bring more attention and awareness to this issue.
Again, that event will take place tonight at 6 o'clock. If you'd like to register, visit afsp.org. A Bowie State University alumni group is biking for scholarship dollars. The Bowie Metropolitan Alumni Chapter is hosting its annual bike tour tomorrow through the 13th to fund scholarships for BSU students. Typically held on campus, this year's event is going to be conducted virtually due to COVID-19. Here are pictures of past bike tours. You can ride anywhere you choose during the 3 days. It's open to alumni, friends, and family nationwide.
This year is even more exasperating with the COVID-19 and how people's finances have been impacted. So, we've been thinking, our alumni chapter, the Bowie Metropolitan Alumni Chapter, we've been thinking, what can we do? What can we do to help, And so this idea came, and this is a wonderful way that we can help students at Bowie State University realize their dreams by helping them financially with scholarships.
To register, visit bikereg.com/BSU. It's time to lace up your sneakers and walk for a good cause. The Alzheimer's Association National Chapter Area Chapter, along with Prince George's County, is gearing up for its annual Walk to End Alzheimer's event Saturday, September 19th. This year, organizers won't host large gatherings. Instead, participants are encouraged to walk in small groups anywhere in the county to raise awareness about the disease.
This year, we've got a main stage. We have an app that you can put on your phone. Walk along with us on September 19th. So September 19th is the day that we would have walked at the National Harbor, but we're trying to be safe and making sure that everyone is social distancing. So we are doing it in our neighborhoods, but you can go to the app, and we have what we call this year a main stage. So there will be an opening event, and this year we're pleased to have, for the second year, Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks will be our honorary chair this year. She's going to say a few words on that platform.
To register for the event, visit act.alls.org. Well,